Good morning, everyone. 2007 to 2013 Chevy Silverado or GMC Sierra. We're going to be doing the 13.1 ASURE Android CarPlay. I'm going to go ahead and take you on a quick tour, unbox it, install it, and do a quick demo. Let's get to it. I went ahead and unboxed the product for you, took everything out of the box and lay them all out. That way I can show you what we're going to be installing and using. Obviously, this is the screen. As you can see, it's pretty good size at 13.1. It's going to come with 4 little plastic pieces right here, and I'm going to show you how to assemble that. Here's the chime, the 2 USBs. Here's the outputs for the, like if you have any sub or anything like that, or auxiliary in, antenna adapter, Wi-Fi, obviously the Bluetooth mic, the GPS, and here's the main harness. Now there's going to be a third plug right here. If you have a 2010, I believe, or up, it's going to have a factory backup camera. Then you'll be able to retain it using one of these. Now if you do not have one, the plug or the kit is going to come with one of these. Now we're not going to be doing the backup camera in this truck, so we're going to put that aside. This one, I'm not quite sure what it's for, but I never used this one as the vehicle is a CAN bus system, so I went ahead and plugged it in already. This one we're not going to use as well, so just put all that aside. It's going to come with 2 packets of screws. Some of them are long, some of them are short, and I'm going to also show you which one to use as far as this goes. So let's get to it and assemble this parts right here. The first plastic piece that you're going to use is this thick one right here. You have an option to make it go higher, lower, by adjusting the location of the holes that lines up to the screw holes. For this one, we're going to try to just put it in the middle and see how that looks, and then we're going to move on to the next step. We've got the first step done. I've ended up using the center locations. Now do not over tighten these screws, just make it snug, or else you will crack the casing or the screen. So don't go Hulk on it. Like I said, just a little bit snug, just so you know it's tight, and then that should be good enough. Now the next piece that you're going to be putting in is this one right here. Just lay it like that, and then this part right here goes in. And then it looks like we're going to be using the same smaller screws, and this is how it should look. Go ahead and tighten those. Like I said, do not over tighten it, as you are only going plastic to plastic. Alright, this should be the finished result so far. This piece right here is the one that's going to attach to the truck's dash. So now that you got everything assembled, this is how it should look. I know it may look thick now, but once you have everything in there, this thing is going to sink in a little bit. So that thing is fully ready. Now let's go ahead and get in the truck and start taking it apart. Alright, I would say that if you can plug everything in before you put the casing on, that would be a lot easier. It's kind of hard to push it in with this thing on the way, so don't make the same mistake as I did and putting it on after you have all the plastic pieces on. So I've got the 2 USBs plugged in. Now you can't really mix match them. One is a 4-pin and one is a 6-pin. Got the RCAs with the amp turn on and the mic input already plugged in. Got the antenna adapter. We're going to go ahead and leave these ones for last. Don't really need to plug this in as they go into these ports right here. And then the power harness, so we can leave all that later on. If you do have amplifier or sub or anything like that, you will need a splitter. It's going to be 1 male to 2 female, as these Androids only have 1 output. So you're going to need to split that into 2 RCAs. A couple of bucks from the store. That'll get you taken care of. Went ahead and inserted the RCA pre-out splitter, so now we can go ahead and move on to the truck and start taking that apart. Here is the inside of the truck. As you can already see, it has aftermarket radio, which doesn't really matter. You can have a stock one, aftermarket one, it'll be all the same thing. The only thing that needs to come off is this part right here. So what you're going to do is use one of these panel remover. Please do not use a flathead, as you will damage some of the crevice right here or the mating surfaces. Always use a plastic panel remover just to keep it safe, keep it clean, and prevent damages. Once you get the dash bezel removed, you're going to go ahead and remove these 3 plugs right here. That's going to the cigarette lighters and the centerpiece right here. Now we're going to go ahead and remove the 7 mils and take off the original radio. Now you will need to remove the climate control first, as this thing overlaps. Once you get that removed, go ahead and take off the 4 remaining 7 mils. Now this truck has aftermarket amp for the sub, so we're going to go ahead and remove the RCA. Go ahead and unplug these 2 connectors, cut the remote wire, and then we can go ahead and swap out the new head unit. Now that we got the old radio out, go ahead and match it just to make sure everything lines up and everything looks correct. And we can go ahead and mount it back to its original location. But before you do that, you can go ahead and start mounting the GPS antenna and the chime in this area right here. You can zip tie it or stick it on, whichever one you really prefer. Doesn't really matter. Now as far as the GPS antenna, you don't have to have that mounted outside, which a lot of people do. Anytime that you have a GPS antenna, as long as the top of it is plastic and not a metal, you should be fine hiding it inside. That's always been a debate, but like I said, if it's plastic on top, then you should be fine. If it's metal, definitely not put it under metal. So let's go ahead and get the GPS, the Wi-Fi antenna, anything that we can mount in this plastic area before we mount this piece right here. I went ahead and stick the GPS right here and put a zip tie just to make sure it doesn't come off or anything like that. The 4G antenna is right here. Again, one zip tie just for safety assurance. I did run the mic to this location right here. You can run it behind the rubber seal, and for now we have it coming out the bottom. We're going to go ahead and zip tie it to this area as well. We should be able to put the bezel on now. So it's going to go like this. Oops, sorry about that. It's going to go in place just like this. Go ahead and have the plugs kind of just ready right here. Next step is we're going to be drilling a hole right here for the USBs to go through. We're going to go ahead and take off the plugs, or I can actually try to run it underneath right here. Just depends really, or I might even just shoot down if I can get it below right here. That way he doesn't have to reach all the way to the glove box and try to reach it. But you're more than welcome to run it right here if that's where you want it to be. But I'm going to try to get it to where it's dangling right here so it's easier to access. So, but for now, we're going to go ahead and take off the bottom panel and then run the mic. That way we can get that thing prepped up and ready to go. As mentioned before, we're going to be running the Bluetooth mic down here. So this one's held by 2 Phillips. Go ahead and take that off, and this whole panel should just pop off. I went ahead and left a little slack on the wire, run along the harness that he already has, which is the RCAs, just kind of zip tying it along with it. Other than that, like I said, you want to make it a little bit loose. Don't make it too tight. That way it's not snagging on anything. So we're going to continue running it to that pocket where they had everything running, and then bring it outside right there. So I ran into a little problem right here. This amp control is not showing any power whenever the radio is on or being used. So I went ahead and just tapped in the remote wire to the accessory signal, red wire. That solved the problem. So it might look like a mess right now, but I'm still kind of testing everything just to make sure all is working and everything is kind of functioning like how it should. Before you lock this in, you want to make sure you check everything. So like I said, it looks like a mess right now, but it'll get cleaned up before final assembly. Now before you put everything back, just go ahead and tape all the open RCAs and things like that. I went ahead and taped up the wire that I tested that didn't work, so we can start cleaning everything up and start putting everything in its location. But as I said before, don't lock it in yet. Test everything before you lock it in, and then that should be the only thing that's left to do. So let's go ahead and do that now. Now upon setting up the system, it's going to ask for the CAN bus system, so you do have to follow this. Since this one doesn't have a factory amplifier, it's going to be the XP-GM All XP L, since there is no amplifier. But if you do have an amplifier, you have to choose this. So just be mindful of that, or else it's not really going to work properly. I'm just kind of playing around with it, making some setting changes. I did connect the wireless LAN to my modem, so right now I'll be able to do videos and YouTube and things like that. So that's actually a pretty cool setup right there. Obviously my page right there. Subscribe if you don't mind. So that's pretty cool right there. As you can see, I'm watching YouTube via Wi-Fi. I haven't tried the mobile hotspot, but I know it kind of lags a little bit just because he eats up a lot. Shout out to Adrian right there. That's the Civic SI that I wired up. But go back to home real quick just to kind of show you. This button right here too is to kind of just like a little shortcut to go wherever you desire. I'm not gonna play radio or else they'll demonetize it. I get the, see if it'll connect real quick. As you can see, it does take a little bit to upload, so, but as soon as it opens, everything is good. Obviously 89 degrees, it shows the temperature. We're gonna go ahead and play a little bit more and make a little bit of adjustments. There's still quite a bit to mess with. This one does not have the backup camera, so we're not gonna mess with that. But overall, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's got everything that you could possibly need for it to function. No steering wheel control, so I don't have to mess with that either. As you can see, like I said, this little button right here is to go to home. And to adjust the volume, it's that one right there. Besides that, that's really all there is to it. Overall, it's a pretty cool system. It's a big screen, so we're gonna play around a little bit more. Got quite a bit more settings to mess with. I'm not gonna do all that. I'll leave that up to you guys. Got Google Chrome, so that's pretty cool. Browse around. Already disconnected, so that's why it's not showing online. Check out with other apps. There's not much really to it, but besides that, pretty self-explanatory. Bluetooth, equalizer, you can mess with that and see which music you like. I'm gonna go ahead and adjust the time manually. Besides that, that's really all there is to it. If you guys learned anything, if you got any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Just want to show you real quick, that's where I ran the USB, so it's out of sight, out of mind. I already put everything back. Other than that, that's all there is to it. Shout out to ASURE for sending this unit to test it out. Besides that, peace. Just wanted to show the clearance. Got plenty, not gonna hit. I already got everything locked in. Beautiful screen, pretty big screen. So it does read the 0 miles per hour. Will change as soon as you start driving. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the Wi-Fi, clear memory. That should be all there is to it. Time to call the customer and let him know it's done.